Happy Mother's Day. We haven't talked all week. Yeah. So, how are you doing? You have to use the microphone. You can't just smile. Okay, so here's kind of what my backup plan was, because I just had a bad feeling this morning. So I thought to myself, what would it be like to interview you and ask you what it's like to be a mom? I'm not a mom, and I'm not home all the time, and so I don't get to see all the exciting things that happen. She's so
Do you want the good, bad, or
squirming.
ugly? Which one?
Huh?
The good, bad, or ugly?
There's good? Okay. All right, no, look, I want to just take a couple minutes, and while they're working on my PowerPoint, and I don't know if it'll ever work, but why don't you tell me, in all seriousness, like, what is your favorite part of being a mom? What's your favorite part?
No, it's good. They're laughing. There's a lot of really good things about being a mom. I'm definitely a baby person, so when they're babies, that's one of my favorite ages. It's just the unconditional love that you get from a child. There's nothing like it, and just to have something to hold and cherish and be a part of shaping them and helping them to become who they're supposed to become it's a privilege.
What do you think the biggest mistake is that moms make in rearing their children?
Not speaking life.
That's good. When you're dealing with discipline of your kids, what do you think, in your observation, has been mistakes that other parents make when they discipline their kids?
I think our emotions can get in the way, and we're not always capable of seeing things through their eyes. And so I think sometimes we're too quick to discipline them. We don't, figure out why they're doing, basically get to the root of why they're doing what they're doing. We are too quick to just stay on the surface with them instead of getting to the heart of the matter.
So what you're going to find out, by the way, is as I'm asking her questions, every single answer relates to how we treat one another. Because this is exactly the number one mistake that I would say if the same question was, say, Pastor Jim, can you tell me what's the number one mistake that people make with one another in relationships? We're too quick to judge. We don't have all the answers. We don't understand what the other person is thinking or why they're doing it. And we love to discipline and judge. So when you have kids that are, when you have kids that are fighting, let's say, what is it that you like to do, or what is it that you've done in the past that doesn't work, and mistakes that you've made that you have changed to make work now? What is it differently over 18 years of being a mom? What are some of the most powerful things that you've learned in those areas?
Yelling and screaming doesn't work. I think just patience with teaching them, biblical principles, really. We have to, first of all, show them by example how we work things out. It's probably more critical than anything that they see the way that their parents work things out. If you and I can't learn how to, in the midst of an argument...
Marital Bible study.
Yeah, marital Bible study.
We don't argue.
Yeah. If we don't learn how to stop and pray and work things out in front of them, then how can we expect them to do the same? And so, I think that it's important to teach them what to do. Instead of yelling and screaming at them, show them take the time. And I think as moms, that's the hardest part, is actually taking the time to do the hard thing, because, our lives are busy and we've got them, if you have a lot of children, I don't know what's considered a lot, but for me, 6 kids, you can kind of get bombarded by all of them at one time. And so taking the time to stop and teach them how they're to be acting, sometimes you have to get so basic as to just tell them what to say. I do this with him too. I'm like, all you have to do is say,
is my PowerPoint working yet?
And it really, honestly, it helps, when you say, this is what I needed to hear from you. This is what I needed for you to say. I don't need, for you to give me any facts or try to fix anything. Just say this, So with your kids, you just say, you should have, even in their apologizing to one another, to their siblings, and they're like, I'm sorry, and I'm like, no, you say, Sierra, I'm really sorry. Will you please forgive me? And then they repeat. It's like a repeat after me, until it gets, and I know that might seem kind of manufactured, but the truth of the matter is you're training them. You're training them for it to eventually become a heart issue with them. And I know this is kind of funny, but in the past when they were arguing and nothing was working, you just make them stand in the corner together hugging each other for 5-10 minutes. And that works really good.
It works. Also, mimicking works. The other day, Malia was very upset with her sister, and she has a very distinct face when she gets really mad. And so I said, Malia, you are not allowed to be angry with your sister unless your face looks like this. And I made the worst, ugliest face ever, and she just started busting up laughing. I'm like, no, I want you to help me. I want you to try it. You have to do this. If you're going to be upset, you've got to have a way uglier face than that. You can't. And it just made her laugh. And I think sometimes, I've thrown fits when my kids throw fits just to show them what they look like. And then they laugh like, why is Dad throwing a tantrum? Because you're throwing a tantrum. And, one of the things that's so apropos is as adults, we do the exact same thing. We throw tantrums. And, one of the things I've learned as a dad, I was a pretty rough dad. Actually a pretty normal dad. I think a lot of dads are pretty hard on their kids and not so graceful as moms really are. And we don't have the mom goggles. You know what I mean? Kid brings this, scribble to me, and it's like scribble. Mom sees like rainbows, sunshine, and fish jumping. Pin it up on the thing, I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool, thank you. In the past, I used to be a lot like that, and expecting the kids, having expectations as an adult on kids to act a certain way. Any dads know what I'm talking about? Like, you just expect, behave. You're 4. What the heck is the word behave? That's 2 syllables. Behave is a bizarre word. For instance, I never forget this. Not so long ago, I told Kyla to not eat in the hearth room. Don't eat in the hearth room on that table. Don't do that because you get it everywhere. Okay. So she went and ate in a different room. Why are you eating in this room? You told me not to eat in the hearth room. You didn't tell me not to eat over here. And it really helped me understand how little kids think. That if you don't tell them exactly, don't eat in the hearth room, Don't eat in the dining room. Don't eat in the dog's room. Don't eat in the cat's room. Don't eat in the attic. Okay? Then you want me to eat at the table. Okay, there's no other rooms left. How many, honestly, in the same way, I have learned as a shepherd that people are the same way. That unless you sometimes tell us exactly what to do, we do whatever we think we should do. This is why the Bible exists. The Bible is God's word to His children. Don't eat at this table. Don't eat at that table. Don't eat on the floor. Don't eat from the floor. Eat this, here, and when. And that's the instruction manual of God. And I want to just encourage you that there's a lot of people out there, your friends, family, coworkers, whatever, that you might actually be the adult in that situation or in that relationship, and they may actually be the children in that situation or in that circumstance, and your job is to not set the expectation so high that you go, man, how could they do that? Who does that kind of stuff? How are they processing that? How could they act like that? They're not seeing it because they can't see what they can't see. So lower your expectation level down and help them see it. Does that make sense? This is the grace, this is the love, this is the opportunity that we have to grow one another rather than judge one another. To say, when someone else can't see something that is so clearly clear to you, when it's very clear to you, what do we normally do? We sarcastically insult them. How do you not see this? What's the matter with you? Rather than try to go from a different angle. Okay, so kids make messes. Huh? Lots and lots of messes. Do you ever find or feel like your job is ever finished? You have to use a microphone. No. Do you need to phone a friend on this? Okay. What would you say over the last, I guess it's 17 years, our oldest is 17, if you could give any advice to a new parent of small children, what would that advice be? And then I'm going to ask you the same question on older children.
Okay. I think I understand the question.
Yeah.
For small children right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've told this to a few people, but I used to get when Hannah was little, kind of all bent out of shape over messes and things like that. Especially messes that seem to be intentional. Pouring a whole box of cereal all over, or taking their diaper off and doing things with things, and I was just like, just really. I guess would get really aggravated. And I think if there's one piece of advice I could give new moms, it's just learn to embrace the bad moments. And what I've chosen to do is either journal about it, take pictures in the moment. I do that a lot. Like if I come in and there's, fingernail polish all over the place, I'm just like, snap a picture. And that really helps me realize that later it's going to be funny. And it is. It's funny later. It's never funny in the moment, but training myself to take pictures and write things down, funny things that they say and stuff like that, really helps me to get over it quickly and realize that this is going to be great on their wedding day.
Who says they're getting married? Same thing for older girls, because a lot of parents really struggle with their older kids. Maybe they weren't saved, when they were raising them when they were younger. What would you say to parents that have teenagers that struggle with their teenagers? They're not really sure how to get a handle back into a connection with they want to have connection. All relationship starts with connection. How do you connect so well with our teenagers and with our older girls where they feel like that you're the best friend. There's absolutely no animosity. There's no rebellion. How do you do that? How do you reestablish a connection or a relationship with maybe your daughter that maybe you just got in a big fight with? What do you do when you get in an argument with one of your older girls?
Well, I'm just going to be honest that a lot of times passing the buck off to him, as funny as that might sound, like I see a really high importance on, and I know not everyone has this, so I don't even like to totally speak about it because the mom has her place and can definitely do all this, but I definitely believe as the kids grow older that the dad is more critical than the mom in a lot of ways. I think that their instruction, their affirmation, their talks that they have with we have girls, so I'm speaking from a girl standpoint. I don't know anything else. What you would, if it's the same with boys or not, I don't know. I just know that it's crucial for the dads to be there for their kids when they get older. It's just, I believe it's more crucial than it is for the mom to be filling some of that role. So not to say that, there's things that I don't do. This is probably going to sound weird too, but we spend a lot of time in the kitchen together, and I think that builds bonds. If you have sons, it's going to be different, but if you have daughters especially, if you just let them help, I guess that's another thing that I've learned is, even Malia just recently, she's just like so excited. She wants to do the dishes. She's, I don't know we've got two now that just have this obsession with doing the dishes, and I'm like, rah, rah. But, and Hannah can barely pass it off to Malia because she's just like, no, it's got to be done like this, but, just like, it doesn't matter if they get soap all over. It doesn't matter if they don't do it right. Let them do what their heart's desire is to do if it's a good thing. Yes, you might end up, pulling your hair out because, you've got, it's, I don't know how to explain. It's almost not worth it sometimes to let them learn how to do things, because if you're in a hurry, you gotta leave soon. It's work. It's work to let them figure things out. It's a lot of work, a lot more messes. But in the end, it ends up being something that I think grows their responsibility. It grows them into who they are, and it teaches them how to bond and get along with people in the same vicinity as you, So, I don't know. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. This is how God operates with us. God decides, look, I could do this a lot faster than you. I could really evangelize the whole world just by showing my face at one time and say, believe in me or not is not a good thing. He could do it better, faster, whatever. But He chooses to let us do it. And He chooses to let us make mistakes. The more that I look at motherhood, the more I look and I feel, that God is the same way. His relationship with us is the exact same way. He wants us to make mistakes. We make mistakes and we go, what? We live in a perfection-driven world. Do you know that? Everything about our world is, everything has to be perfect. Your clothes have to be perfect. Your body has to be perfect. Your face has to be perfect. You have to talk perfect. You got to drive perfect. That ain't never going to happen with me. Everything's got to have this perfect image thing. And unfortunately, when you live in a perfect-driven world, you literally create an atmosphere where everyone expects it. It's a bizarre thing. Everybody knows that no one can reach it, but we all expect it. Why? Because when someone does something that offends us, we get angry. Think of the illogic. Someone does something that offends us. Why are we angry? We do the same thing to other people and offend them. We're expecting perfection, is what it is. Instead of when someone that we don't know offends us, okay, be offended. They don't like you. You shouldn't be offended anyway. Why would you be offended by someone that doesn't like you? It's like trying to drive your brand new car past your enemy's house. You don't even care what he thinks anyway. Why are you going past his house? Why do you care about what he thinks? You should only care about what your friends think. And so at the end of the day, what happens is we have this expectation on one another that is so high that nobody can reach it, so that when we all fall short of that, quote, glory, we're all condemned. And we do it to one another. You know, I love what Josh Talley said the other night in my house. He said, Christianity is the only religion in the world that preaches forgiveness, mercy, and grace. And it is also the only religion in the world that condemns and judges its own. How is that possible? How is that possible? It's because we don't know how to raise kids. If we knew and had the heart of a mom, especially this mom, and her heart of mercy and grace and just the amazing woman that she is. But if we actually had the heart of God and understand that we're all kids, we wouldn't have much expectation. We wouldn't get frustrated when people do things that they shouldn't do, when they say things that they shouldn't say. Because we would literally just say, you know what, that person is struggling in that area, must have a bad day. We don't even think that person might be having a bad day. Anybody ever had a bad day? Anybody ever had a bad day and got short with someone? Okay. Well, did you know that someone else can have a bad day too? And we need to begin to give that same grace that she's talking about with our kids and let them learn. If you want to be, a lot of people come over to our house and they'll be around my kids and they'll go, man, how are your kids so amazing? To me, it's simple. It's one word. Cheryl. That might be two words, but it's Cheryl. It's my wife. She's so amazing. She spends time with them. She does not just serve them. She teaches them how to serve subconsciously. It's brilliant. When she's in the kitchen, our house could be, 500 square feet. It just needs to be the kitchen. Because we all live there completely. And you go into my house, and that is where everyone is always at. Okay, that's where I'm at most of the time, just feeding off of what they're cooking. But the truth of the matter is, when she's teaching them how to cook, what are they doing? She's not going, you need to do this, and you need to learn this because this and that and the other. And no, she's in there. She's spending time with them. We have music going on there. They're watching cooking shows, and they're creating the relationship in the same way. I want you to know something. Yahweh is always in the kitchen. That's where He's at. He's always cooking something. He's always doing something. And if you want to get closer to Him, you got to be where He's at. And you got to be willing to look at the instruction manual, look at the recipe, and don't do what guys do. Guys we look at the recipe, we never read the paragraph below it. We go, okay, oranges, apples, grapes, cinnamon, cayenne pepper. All right, I can do that. And we fix it up. We don't even think that it's, that was a terrible combination, right? Cayenne pepper and oranges and apples. I don't belong in the kitchen. I have no clue. But if there's oranges and apples, I might run. But no, just kidding, unless it's a pie. But the bottom line is that we need to spend our time. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I have no idea. I haven't eaten anything. But God wants us to read the recipe manual, follow the manual exactly, and spend time with Him. Amen. So do you know what the Hebrew word for mother is? Yeah. Very good. Not imam, okay? Ima. Ima is aleph, yod, mem, aleph. Okay? In Paleo Hebrew, that would be aleph is like the strength of the leader. Yod is the right hand, or the right hand of power from God, from on high. Mem is like the water, especially the water of the womb. Mem is very much like the womb. It's like a box, and the water that comes through it. And then Aleph is the leader. And so when you put it all together, what a mother really is the leader that brings the right hand power of God through the water of the womb to create another leader. That's what it is. Moms use the right-hand power of God through their wombs to produce more leadership. And what we're doing as moms and as parents, our job is not to get them to survive. Our job is to raise warriors for God. And I can assure you that what Hasatan's goal is to raise warriors for him. He does it through the public school system. He does it through the secular round of the world. He does it through everything that if he can keep the kids out of the kitchen, he'll win. The longer you keep your kids in the kitchen, the longer you keep your kids around you, the better a chance that you have for them to win. And that's why, I think it's, to me, it's amazing to watch the Scriptures come alive that, we don't struggle with anything that the world struggles with their kids, because we keep our kids in the kitchen. We protect our kids. Some people say you're sheltering your kids. Yeah, it's raining. Who would not want to shelter your kids in a hurricane? The world's idea of raising kids is, hey, we want them to be social butterflies. In this day and age, are you sure? Because the influences that are going to influence your kids are not going to be what you want to influence. Are you sure that it's worth their eternal security or their spiritual life to let them do this, or to put them in this, or to put them with this group of kids? We're very, very, very careful on who our kids' friends are. We're very careful where we let them go. We're very careful on who they spend the night with. And we don't even, honestly, we don't care what people think. We have a commission by God to make sure that we raise warriors and a Joshua generation that is pure and holy, that knows who they are, loves who they are, and knows their spiritual gifts. The other day, I got my kids together, and I said, you know what, kids, I've been feeling like we need to pray as a family right now. Let's get together and pray. It was like 11 o'clock at night. And the older girls came, the 3 older girls, and me and Cheryl were in there, and I said, I'm going to speak life into you. And I started speaking life into them with their spiritual gifts. And God has given you amazing things, and God has anointed you. And He's called you not to be just regular girls, but you're going to be matriarchs. You're going to be pillars in the kingdom of God. And if you know anything about your Bibles, dads, this is what dads did in the Bible. Jacob didn't just pray over his kids. Did you know that every blessing that he prayed over them came true, and every curse that he prayed came true? When Noah cursed Canaan, it came true. When Noah blessed Shem and Japheth, it came true. So whatever you say from your mouth, if you are a righteous man that follows Yahweh, you can actually speak into existence the things that aren't manifest in the physical realm yet. You can do that. God's given you that power of blessing. And I'll probably spend more time on Father's Day talking about that. So anyway, I'm blessing my kids, and we go to pray. And I know that there's a couple of my kids that have very strong prophetic giftings. And I'm just telling you where it's coming from, because the time, and I'm doing this for Selah right now, so you can just watch. But Selah, every night when they go to bed, I pray over them. I always put my right hand on their chest. Every single time, virtually every time I put my hand on their chest. Don't I do this? And I pray over them, and I don't just pray, God, just help them have, a good night's rest. No, I am speaking as if they're 17 years old or 21 years old, and they are, in the midst of it. God, I pray you would just open up their hearts, give them dreams and visions. I'm talking to a 1.5-year-old. No, I'm not. I'm talking to the eternal Creator. I did this when she was a baby. And so even now, when she's 2.5, God, open up her eyes. Let her see from the spiritual realm. Let her have dreams and visions. Pull out of her the spiritual gifts that you have called her to have from the moment she was conceived. Begin to open those spiritual gifts up. Let her be a pillar in your kingdom. Let her be a mother of mothers. Let her be a visionary, a leader. You speak that 365 days a year for years, and by the time you're 7, when they start seeing dreams and visions, you shouldn't be surprised. When they come to you and they go, Daddy, why is it that this happens, and how does this work in heaven, and how do people that my 7-year-old asked me today, Dad, do people that dress bad, will they go to heaven? She's 8 now. Okay. Well, people that dress bad, will they go to heaven? You know what excited me about that? We weren't even talking about heaven. We weren't even talking about God. I wasn't saying anything. She initiated the conversation. An 8-year-old is initiating a spiritual conversation because what? Her mind has been transformed by the Word of living God all the time since she was a baby. And so for those of you that have grandkids, those of you that have children, I don't care what age they are, maybe you blew it and you've never done that. At 19 years old, maybe they're married and have kids themselves. Pray over them and bless them. Speak into their life. God gave you a supernatural power that you don't use, that we're not taught to use. When someone speaks to you, and when one of your kids, speaks to you that's unkind, you have the supernatural power to speak life into them that's not going to happen again. And don't joke. I used to, my 2-year-old used to throw some serious fits. That had some problems. I would go into her crib when she'd take a nap. Father, I rebuke the spirit of tantrum, if it exists. There's no tantrums in this house anymore. There's going to be shalom, peace. She's going to be respectful to her sisters, so on and so forth. I mean, look, it doesn't hurt just to speak life all the time. And expect it to happen. When it doesn't happen, one of the things that she's alluding to earlier about dads is moms, sometimes you guys get emotional, and I don't blame you. Sometimes dads get emotional. But at the end of the day, what we've got to do is we've got to embrace our children with our arms and then speak to them in reason and give them instruction. Discipline is not enough. There's too many dads that were like me that would just discipline and walk away almost like, I'm dad. I can beat my kids. No, we don't beat children. We discipline our children in love, and then we instruct them after that. The instruction is the key. Because before we move on to this next part of the service, what God is most concerned about is not you keeping His commandments. Did you know that? He's most concerned that you write them on your heart. It's the heart that God is after. It's the heart that is being molded. It's the heart purpose of why the commandments were ever given to begin with. Adam's heart turned away from Yahweh when he chose to be deceived, when he chose to take a bite from the fruit of the knowledge of the tree of evil and good. His heart was bent away from God. So all the instructions that God gave after that was just to wield the heart back in the direction of Yahweh from the heart. It's the heart. You can raise kids to be robots. You can raise kids to be obedient. They'll be obedient. They'll grit their teeth and curse you when they get to their room. Or you can raise kids that understand what they did was wrong, and they understand that you love them, that you engage with them, that you care about them. And you know what? Sometimes you just need to let them get away with stuff. Sometimes it's not worth it. Now, I don't mean in a negative way. I mean, not get away. But sometimes you don't need to discipline them for every little thing. I used to do that. I made those mistakes. Now I do what all grandparents do. I just hand out Oreo cookies. No, I don't really. I learned that's a trick of grandparents. Well, they always want to go to grandpa's house, right? No, I'm just joking. But go ahead.
Just to kind of add on to that, just one thing that's coming to mind is, and I'm guilty of this sometimes, is after you discipline them, it's just so vitally important to reassure them of your love for them, and that's how we want our Father in heaven to treat us, is after we get disciplined, to have that security of His love for us, but I've seen a lot of parents in their disciplining where there's not that reassurance afterwards, and you just wonder what seeds are going down inside of them, when they're sitting there feeling their shame and their guilt and their parents' disapproval and, all of these things that we as adults may not recognize that those seeds are actually, being planted inside of them because we're not speaking life over them, because we're not reassuring them and giving them the security that they need as small children. To me, that's one of the biggest things as a parent that's super, super critical.
Yeah. And finally, I think that one of the biggest things that our kids have learned is that we let them walk through hard times with us. And I think a lot of parents make the mistake of hiding their emotions around their children in their situations when they're going through something tough. We don't hold anything back from our kids when we're going through a rough time. I mean, and not that we get into all the nitty gritty. You understand what I mean? But like, we let, especially our older kids, our younger kids don't totally understand everything, but we want them to engage with us. We want them to pray. Hey, kids, mom and dad are going through a rough time, and here's what we need. And we want them to be engaged with us. And so if you wait, listen to what I'm about to say. If you wait till your kids are old enough to understand, they won't care to understand. If you engage them before they're too old to understand, you're not concerned about whether they understand. You're reaching into their heart and connecting the hearts with the family unit. Does that make sense? So their heart is connected with the family unit. And when they get old enough to understand, which is a slow process, even my youngest ones know what's going on with their Abba. They know what's going on. They don't understand the ramifications. They don't understand the super seriousness of it, but they know, and they're engaged, and they want to know what's going on, so that when they're old enough to understand, they want to understand. They care about what's going on. It's the heart of the children that we've missed. We've literally put video games in front of them because we don't, and we wonder why they're not engaged with the family. We wonder why they never get a job when they get older. If the job doesn't have a video game connected to it, they don't know what to do. We need to get connected with the hearts of our children, and that is what Yahweh is trying to do, is get connected with the hearts of His children. How do you get connected with the hearts of your children? Look around you. If you are raising children, or if you've raised children, look at the mistakes that you've made. Look at the good things that you did. That is how you get connected with God. When you want to be connected with your children, you just don't go give them ice cream. You're there when times are hard. You're engaged. You're praying with them. You're reading to them. You're spending time with them. You're doing special things with them. All those things are relative to God. If you don't spend time with Him, pray with Him, read with Him, do special dates with Him, then you don't know your Father. Then you're a child that's growing up just knowing the name of your Father and what your Father does for a living. My Father runs the universe. He's God. His Son is Yeshua. Is that the kind of dad that you want to know? I want to know my Heavenly Father on such a degree that I can actually pick out His humor and the different things. I can start to see how He works because we're always engaged. We're always having conversation. My Father, even though I don't understand everything, do you know what He does? He still engages with me. He still tries to download it to me. I'm still going to misinterpret it. I'm still going to get it wrong, and I'm not going to do it right. And you know, a lot of times we don't explain to your kids, we're having financial problems, because you're too pride to get them involved. So what do you think they're going to do with their wife, with their kids? They're going to keep it all from them because they don't want their wife to get involved, because they've never seen an open-chested family.
And I think it's sometimes a lot scarier for a child to not know what's going on. And like he's saying, we're not saying give them all the details by any means, but children are smart and they're keen and they have very sensitive spirits, and they can pick up on stuff that's going on without you even realizing they're picking up on stuff that's going on. So, say, for example, when we were in our house situation, our crisis that we were in, we didn't know where we were going to go and if we were going to be able to find a place. It was a big, deal for him and I to, not have that security and have to really put our faith in the Father. And I just realized through that whole process that, first of all, the Lord hears our kids' prayers probably more than He hears ours. They have pure, innocent hearts, and He hears their prayers. So I covet my children's prayers more than anything. And, when we start praying as a family, and when they're involved in the process, and they're involved in, I guess I should say, the faith process of what you're going through, and say, look, we're going to lose our home. We don't know where we're going to go, but we're going to stand together as a family, and we're going to see what the Lord's going to do. And if you keep it in a positive light of, let's see what the Lord's going to do, not, oh, woe is me, we have no place to go, I'm going to stress you guys out with our problems. No, it's an anticipation. It's a teaching tool you can use in those hard times to get your kids to realize that something is coming, that the Lord's getting ready to do, and let's wait and see what this miracle is He's going to bring. And then when the miracle comes, because it does, those who walk in faith and those who trust and believe in their King, the Father comes through. He comes through, and sometimes He even comes through for us when we don't believe and we don't deserve it. But for our kids to actually get to see faith in action and the miracle come, it builds their faith like none other, and even through this trial stuff, we were careful what we said to our kids, but we kept them informed of what's going on, and we've got them praying for the judges. We've got them praying for our family. We've got them praying for so many different things. And you should hear the prayers that come from my children. I have been blown away and been like, sheesh, you have more faith than I have here. It's just incredible to me. And just their stamina for whatever the enemy brings our way. Our kids are recognizing the spiritual battle that we face day in and day out, because we keep them somewhat involved in situations so that they can see what their faith produces.
Yeah.
And so there was one other thing I was going to say to what you were talking about earlier. Now I can't remember. But I don't know. I just think too many people worry about, their kids being involved in their issues, and they don't see it as a springboard opportunity for them to help. Oh, I know what I was going to say, because I just saw your face. I liked what Braca said last night. She said, this has to do with the other thing you were talking about with spending time with your kids, but she said that their family literally makes appointments, because how many of you know, if you don't put it on your calendar and set appointments, you're not going to probably be able, because an emergency is always going to come up, something's always going to, happen, and if you don't set those times aside for, we even try to do it for each one of our children, to let them know on this certain day, it's your turn with Dad to go out to lunch or whatever, but I thought that was really good, because her family does that. And she just went on about how her husband makes it a point, he, from the very beginning, that he's definitely family oriented. My family comes first, family, 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 family. And if anybody wonders, how this ministry stays in operation, it's because we definitely know that the enemy comes to people in position because they don't keep their family in line. And it is a very difficult thing for even us to do, with everything that's on our plates. But if you set appointments, you can't really hardly go wrong with that. So I would encourage all of you to set appointments with your spouse. David and Diana have their Wednesday night date night, and you better not mess with it. And with our children, we should be doing the same thing. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, and I think that goes across the board with everybody. If you want to have a good relationship, maybe you got some good friends. What do? You set an appointment to go out to eat. You call it a date or getting together, but you invite people over for dinner. You're taking time out. In the same way, if you're in sales, you got a 1 o'clock, a 3 o'clock, and a 5 o'clock. Why not take your 3 o'clock? Say, I'm going to spend time with God from 3 to 4 o'clock today. It's not illegal to spend time with Yahweh in the middle of the afternoon, and He'll bless you for that. We've got to start taking time out to grow our relationships. One of the things I wanted to bring up, and then we need to close out this part here that was so amazingly planned, is that we need to let our children make mistakes. We need to let them make mistakes. Mistakes are the very thing that is going to catapult them into righteousness. That doesn't mean you watch them sin. That's not what I'm talking about. It means that when they make mistakes, it's okay. You let them know, and then you explain it to them why this was a mistake to do it this way. In the same way with adults, we should handle it exactly the same way. Unfortunately, we're so used to yelling at our kids when they make mistakes that we yell at adults when they make mistakes. Rather than going, okay, look, I understand that you feel this way, but let me explain to you that if you continue to have this attitude, this is what's going to happen. It's going to alienate you from your sister. It's going to alienate you from your brother, so on and so forth. Begin to show them, look at your attitude right now. Look at the fruit that it's breeding in your life. Is this the attitude of Yeshua? And I try to always bring it back to the Messiah. That is this the heart of God? Is this how you want to react? Do you like the way that you feel right now? Is this who you really want to be? Using reason to bring the emotional system back into a homeostatic position and place. And so at the end of the day, most of us are just big kids. We're literally acting the same way we did when we were 5. Because no one spent enough time with you to say, you're valuable. You're loved. You have an unbelievable purpose in this life. You're a great mom. It doesn't matter what you think. You're a great mom, and your kids are going to love God. But you've got to initiate that love first into their lives, and not at the end of the day when you pray with them, throughout the day. The power of God flows through those who make mistakes. The love of a mom transfers itself only when the kids are making mistakes. It's easy to love someone who's lovable and cute. It's not so easy to love when they poop in their diaper, take it off, and wipe it all over the floor. Like it happens most every day at our house. But that's when the love is expressed. And I'll end with that, and I'm not joking. Even just today, my youngest did a number in her diaper, and she's not supposed to do numbers in her diapers. She's too old for that anymore, and she knows that. And it's so frustrating because it happened right before I was supposed to leave to come here. And the 2 older girls, my 8-year-old and 5-year-old, she's 5, right? 5-year-old, came up and said, Dad, Selah pooped in her diaper again. And we're all ready to go and she has a dress on. And I'm like, this is not happening to me. This is not happening to me. Because every time they come get me, like you have to call 911. I mean, it's unbelievable because she feels bad and she tries to clean it up herself. Not a good idea. So I praise God. I said, just tell her to keep her diaper on. Just keep it on. So I went into 911 mode, went down there. And instead of getting upset, I'm like, okay, Selah, come on upstairs. And she went upstairs and she came in my bedroom and she lay down. And the first thing she said was, Abba, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And she wouldn't stop saying, you're sorry. I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. She's like, no, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to do that, in her little language. And it broke my heart. And it encouraged me that if I would have spanked her, if I would have got upset, if I would have, been, I wouldn't have hurt her heart. So at that moment was the dividing moment where I could have, been upset and just been frustrated because we need to leave and so on and so forth. And I would have lost her heart at 2.5. Or I go with the flow. It's okay. I hear her heart. It's okay, sweetheart. Everybody makes mistakes. You going to do better next time? Yeah. And now she's got an incentive because she knows everyone operates better through encouragement. Amen? Amen. All right. Give Miss Cheryl a hand for being so good. All right, we had to do a little impromptu at the last minute there. Okay, I need all the moms and the kids that I have asked to get prepared, to get ready. Moms can come on stage. There's 5 moms I asked to come on stage, and so they're going to come on up. And we're going to have a little fun. And they're going to grab your kids. Come on up here. All right. And Cheryl, you're one of them. I don't know if you know that. It's just like your night of surprise. And let's spend a little time. And I thought this might be interesting. We're going to ask these moms a couple of questions and on how they look at themselves as a mom. And then I'm going to tell you what we're going to do after that. And so let's start down here. You knew it. Look, it's right to left. It's Hebrew. I want you to know, I want to ask you, let me turn this on real quick. I want you to share with us how you look at yourself as a mom and what you like, what you don't like, what you would change. Just how do you view yourself as a mom? Describe yourself.
I have the best intentions. I don't know. There are people I think that they know their whole lives that they're going to be a mom. That's what they want. That's what they're planning for. They're going to be a mom. They're going to stay home with their kids. They're going to do all this stuff. That never was my thought. I wanted to have kids, but it wasn't like I'm a mom. That's what I am. Go sit down. So when I became a mom, I didn't really have any idea what I was doing. And you kind of learn as you go and as your kids get older and stuff. And but gradually, as I've had more kids and as I've gotten older, it really is the heart and the desire that you have that I think is the most important thing. You want to do it well. You realize the impact that you are having on the future generation.
So what do you struggle with? What's
Patience.
Your patience. Okay. Give me a couple more adjectives.
That I struggle with are joy and satisfaction.
Okay.
You know, I think when in my situation, I worked for 10 years outside of the home and had kids at the same time, and then, thanks to you, took a step way back, I thought, and started staying home. And so then, what's your purpose? You know, what good are you? What's your contribution? So those kinds of things are a struggle sometimes.
Okay. Katie, same question. Describe yourself, heart-wrenching as it is. It's frustrating sometimes being at home by yourself. But just describe yourself as a mom and some of your struggles.
Being a mom, especially a stay-at-home mom, is the weirdest thing in the world because your job is never the same day to day. If it was an equation, like this much of your time, you're taking care of your house, this much of your time, you get to engage in this part of, raising kids, and it's never that. It's always like, the way that you wake up sets the tone for your entire day, and you kind of never know what you're going to get, what storm's going to come or what blessing. And so it's kind of taking everything day by day, expecting, to greet everything with excitement. And, when you do walk in on the poop or, when your kid draws something amazing and you can just celebrate with them, it's really the most exciting job in the world, and I'm finally getting used to the fact that it's never going to be the same 2 days in a row. I'm never going to get a report card that says, you're doing a great job. My kids are never going to say, I really liked how you did the dishes today. It's not ever going to be that. So, in a way, we call it a job, and that's the weirdest way to describe it, because it's a calling and it's ever-changing, and I'm just blessed to have a husband who's so supportive and women around me who are so supportive, because it could be very frustrating and also like the best thing in the world.
So if you could describe your greatest frustration about yourself, what would it be?
I set really high expectations sometimes. I look at other mamas and what they're able to do and accomplish, and I say, but I should be able to do that and be a world-class cook and, have everything in order all the time. And I think when I expect everything in my life to be perfect, I stress myself out and stress the kids out, and it just becomes stressful instead of saying, what are you asking me to do today? And so, inviting other people to teach me and allowing, myself to grow without, putting this like burden of expectation, because that will wear you out. Yeah.
Carrie.
This was not the question you told us we were going to have
Sorry.
that I prepared for.
How else would I get you guys up here?
So describe myself as a mom.
Yeah.
Laura said to say I'm awesome. I'm not going to say I'm awesome. I had 3 kids in 12 and a half months. So they're all my first kid. And I just kind of feel like I just am playing it by ear every day. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like you have to be teachable to be a good mom, because I learn more from them than I feel like I teach them. So,
What frustrates yourself about yourself? If you could have one, if you could do 1 or 2 things differently, what would it be?
what frustrates myself about myself is patience. Like Laura said, patience is a big one, because I pray for patience and I pray for it now. And and also selfishness, because a stay-at-home mom, homeschool mom, I am with the girls every waking moment except for when we're in this building. On Tuesdays for about 2 hours and on Saturday nights for a couple hours. So sometimes I just like to go to the bathroom by myself. And so, just selfishness.
That's not selfish. I'm just letting you know.
But seriously, the girls are they've been together since they're so tiny, so they don't understand. They're always, I want to go to the store with you because I don't want you to be alone. And I'm like, you don't understand. Sometimes mommies like to be alone, so, but they're such good company, so, and that's the other hard part, is having one-on-one time with them. So it's like, okay, I'll take one of you to the store, so you can go on vacation with me. But, right? Am I right? So Walmart is a vacation sometimes, I don't know.
All right, Nikki. Tell us what you love about motherhood.
What I love is that my kids are cute and they're hilarious.
Put the microphone up a little bit higher.
Sorry, I really hate microphones. I love that they're so funny, and they're definitely our kids. Like, they get their sense of humor through their blood.
And what frustrates you about your day?
I hate poop. I do. I'm just like...
Are we on a 7-second delay?
I would be okay if just babies just came out and they were like, oh, I'm just going to use this potty instead of making messes and problems. But other than that.
What about yourself? If you could change one thing, what would it be?
Patience, high expectations, selfishness. I'm just taking from everyone else, but that's what it is.
Okay. All right, Cheryl. Same question.
You asked a English one.
No, what? Tell me about. Describe yourself as a mom. What, if you could change one thing about your personality of momming? What would it be?
Yeah, I mean, I just have to agree with all of them. Patience can be really difficult, and selflessness, because it's a selfless job. And, I thought it was hilarious one time what she said. She's like, I had bacon warm once, and it was gross. Because she's so used to eating cold food all the time, because you're constantly serving your children, and sometimes I'm like, I just fed you guys all have eaten. I would like to just have one bite of my own food. I'm hungry. So, it's so true. As soon as you have a plate of food in front of you, they think, they need it. They're starving. Yes. So, and so patience is a big one. And sometimes I just want to have my own brain space. I'm like, I need some brain space. You get infiltrated with this, stuff all day long. And I'm like, I need an adult conversation right now. I need to know that there's more than just ABC, And so for me, sometimes I just get impatient because I feel frustrated, overcoming those feelings of frustrations when you just need a moment to yourself. So everything that we're all saying is, it's all the same.
Okay. All right. Now we know how moms feel about themselves. Frustrated, stressed out, selfish, selfless, and what was the other one? Impatient and don't like poop. All right. So, brown girls, Emma, Malia, Kyla, Isaiah, come on up here and stand next to your mom. Oh, yeah, and the twins. Sorry. Find your own mom. There you go. Okay, now we're going to ask the kids how they look at their mom. Okay, so Emma, we're going to start with you. You knew you like mother, like daughter. All right, so I want you to look out here. Now, what I want to do is I want you to describe your mom. Tell me how you see your mom. Tell me about your mom.
Well, she's always really fun. She always plays with me and my sister. And,
what else? Tell me something else about your mom. What do you like about your mom?
well, she takes us fun places sometimes, yeah.
Like Walmart. Anything else? Is that it? Okay. All right. Give it up for Emma. All right. Tell me some things about your mom.
Well, sometimes my mom takes me to the park and I like it.
At least she doesn't beat you up. That's good.
Dad wrestles me up.
Okay. He wrestles you up. All right. You got to fix that. All right. So tell me some of the things you like about your mom.
Well, my mom always plays with me sometimes and lets me watch something on her phone.
She lets you watch something on her phone? Yeah. What's the favorite thing you like about your mom?
Well, sometimes my mom wakes me up in her bed so I can snuggle with her.
Aww. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Give it up for Isaiah. All right, Kerrigan, you ready? Or Kylie, who wants to go first? Go ahead, Kerrigan. Tell me, what do you like about your mom?
That she taught me how to sew and she always snuggles with me.
You like that? What else do you like about your mom?
That she lets me buy stuff with my own money.
Ah. So does God. How amazing is that? All right, Kylie, tell me, what do you like about your mom?
That she pulled out my second tooth.
Wow. You have interesting taste. Okay. And tell us something else about your mom.
She is so pretty when she smiles.
Aw. Anything else about your mom that you really like? What's that?
Because she just hugs and kisses me lots of times.
You like that? Wow. What's your favorite thing about your mom?
That she snuggles with me.
You like that too? All right. Thank you. Give it up for the Brown girls. All right. Miss Castillo's, are you ready? Oh, this one. Mia, here we go. What do you like about your mom?
That she can play with me a lot.
Oh. What else do you like about your mom?
That we get to snuggle a little bit.
You like to do that too, okay. And what's your favorite thing about your mom?
That sometimes we get to help bake cookies.
Aw. Tell us something really silly that your mom does when no one's watching.
Tickles me?
It tickles you? We should ask Isaiah that question. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Alexa.
I like it when my mom lets us bake cookies with her.
Oh. Do you like eating them or making them more?
Eating them.
And what's your favorite thing about your mom?
That I snuggle her.
No. Thank you. All right. Good job, you guys. All right, Malia. No, come on. Tell us something about your mom. What do you like about mom?
That she lets me do the dishes more than my sisters.
We're a weird herd, man. I'm telling you. All right, so describe your mom. If no one ever met your mom, how would you describe her?
That she is really nice, and she's a really good baker, and she sings really good. Mm-hmm. And her favorite color is purple.
What's your favorite thing about mom? If you could pick one thing, what would it be?
That she loves God.
Whoa. Wasn't ready for that one. Kyla, tell us something nice about mom. What do you like about mom?
That she reads a story.
Mm-hmm. What else? What else do you like about mom? What's your favorite thing about mom?
That whenever we sit down, she lets me cuddle with her.
Where did you get that idea? All right, give it up for the Staley girls. We're not done yet. I got a couple more questions for our kids. All right. Let's see. Now that I know how you guys think, okay, I've got my question. Here's what I want to do. Matt, I want you to take all of them but Emma up into that room up there. You guys follow Mr. Matt. No, Emma, you stay here. You stay here. The rest of you guys come with Matt. Isaiah, go with Matt. Your dad, I'm sorry. Yeah, he doesn't know who Matt is. All right, follow that guy right there. Yeah, just right in that room is fine, and I'll call you when I need the next one. That way we don't get any more cuddle answers. Okay, Emma, here we go. This is an important question, okay? What would life be like at your house if your mom wasn't there?
Well,
If only your dad was there. Tell us what life would be like.
Well, if Mom wasn't in our house, it would feel really lonely because she's just really important to me.
And if Dad was the only one there, what would you eat? What would you eat if Dad was there and Mom wasn't there to cook? What would it be like? What does your dad like to eat? Look at me. What does your dad like to eat?
Well, he's always told me he likes to do like this spicy stuff like.
So do you think if Mom wasn't there, you would have to eat spicy stuff all the time? No? Would he cook you something different? Yeah? Can you think of anything else of what life would be like if Mom wasn't there?
Well, it just be really different without Mom. It's just that.
All right, give Emma a round of applause. Good job. All right, Isaiah, come on down. It's the Isaiah Totra Show, everyone. Can he hear me? Oh, he's coming. All right, come on, Isaiah. Your moment has come. Okay, buddy. Here we go. Now, if Mom wasn't at your home and only your dad, what would it be like?
Well, it would just be like I did have like a big family.
Oh, yeah. So what would you eat if Mom didn't cook and Dad had to cook all the time?
Maybe we would eat different stuff.
Like what kind of different stuff?
Like different stuff at God's house us to eat.
That what?
God's house us to eat.
Oh, God tells you to eat. Mm-hmm. Okay, so is your dad a good cook?
Uh-huh.
He is?
Mm-hmm.
What does he normally cook?
Well, he's best at making cookies and dinner.
Cookies and dinner?
Uh-huh.
If Mom wasn't there, do you think you would just make cookies?
I think he would make dinner first and then cookies.
And then cookies. Okay. Who normally spanks you at your house?
My dad and my mom.
Oh, they both do that? So if you think if your mom wasn't there, you would get half as many spankings?
I think 10 spankings.
You get 10 spankings?
Yeah.
All right. You don't get Mary spankings, do you?
Mm-mm.
No. Because you're a really good kid, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do bad things. But if I do it again, they give you an option. They pick which thing I get. Sometimes it gives me different options to get a spanking or a timeout turtle.
A timeout turtle?
Yeah, or a spanking.
Or a spank. What do you normally choose with those options?
Sometimes I pick timeout.
Sometimes you do?
Yeah, and then I say sorry.
And then you say sorry?
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens?
But if I do it 2 more times again, I have to go back to timeout.
Oh, okay. Does that happen very often?
Not really.
Not really? Okay. All right. Thank you, Isaiah. No, you can stay here. All right, Brownie girls. All right. All right, here we go. Kerrigan, what would life be like at your house if Mom wasn't there?
Sad.
Sad. Tell us what the day would look like. If Mom wasn't there, tell us what your day would look like.
It kind of looked like I don't know.
You're not sure? Yeah, what would you do that day if Mom wasn't there?
I'd cry all day.
Aw. But what if Dad was there? What do you think that would your eating habits change? Would you eat different things? If you had to rely on Dad, what would you eat?
Well, the same thing that we got in our pantry.
What? Okay, we have an engineer. Kylie, tell us, let's let your sister try it. What do you think you would eat if Mom wasn't there and Dad had to cook all the time?
Salad.
Salad? Okay. Dad likes to make salad?
Yeah.
So would you eat anything else besides salad?
I don't know.
Not sure?
Not sure.
What do you think it would be like without Mom?
Really sad.
Really sad?
Mm-hmm.
You like your mom? You do?
Yeah.
What would you tell your mom? I want you to look at your mom. And since this is Mother's Day, what would you tell Mom?
Happy Mother's Day. I love you.
Good job. Okay, Castillos, come on down. All right, here we go. This is a hard one. Are you ready? Okay. This is for Double Jeopardy. What would life look like at your house if Mommy wasn't there?
That, I would be all alone with my dad.
Is that good or bad?
Bad.
Why would it be bad?
Because
Use my stick.
because my mom wasn't there.
Okay, yeah. Does your mom do a lot for you?
Yeah.
What does your dad ever cook?
Pancakes.
He cooks pancakes,
Potatoes.
potatoes and pancakes
And bacon.
and bacon. So, what do you? What would you eat if only Dad was there?
Whatever he cooks.
What's that? Okay. All right. Are you going to be an engineer when you grow up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Except I really want to be a princess.
Oh. What silly things does your dad do when no one's looking?
He tickles us. We pillow fight him.
Pillow fight? You like pillow fights? Does your mom like it when you guys pillow fight?
Yeah, except she doesn't really do it.
She doesn't really do it? Okay. Do you like your mom?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you know that tomorrow is Mother's Day?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to look at your mom and tell her something. What do you want to tell your mom for Mother's Day? Tell her something really nice.
Mom, we have a surprise for you.
You do? Don't tell me what it is. Don't tell me.
I'm not.
They're going to let you go to Walmart by yourself.
No.
Give it up for the Castillo girls. Thank you. Oh, do you want to say something? Okay.
I love my mommy because she bakes things with me.
Aw, that's awesome. All right, Staley girls, come on in. Last but not least, okay, Malia. Wait a minute. This is going to be incriminating. All right, tell us, what would life be like?
Without Mom?
If you had a baby brother. Okay, no, just kidding. All right. What would life be like? I'm really scared. What would life be like if Mom wasn't here? What would life be like if Mom wasn't here? What would it look like every day?
Freaky?
Freaky? Like how?
With Mom or without Mom?
Without Mom. That exciting? What would you eat?
I would eat.
Use the microphone.
I don't know.
That's good, Paul. Good call. You're not really sure. Does your dad cook very much?
No.
No. So if Mom wasn't here, what do you think you would eat?
Nothing.
No, we would order pizza every night. Okay, what would you miss the most about Mom?
Her love for me?
Her love for you? Kyla, what would you miss most about Mom if she wasn't here?
I do not know.
You don't know?
What would you miss about her?
What would it be like without Mom? Huh? I need to get you up here more often, don't I? So what would it be like if Mom wasn't here?
She was on vacation.
And it was just us, just your dad and your sisters. What do you think that would be like? If it was just your sisters and your dad?
Sad.
Be sad? Why would it be sad?
Because Mom's gonna be gone.
Mom's going to be gone. But what about me? Yeah, probably ought to not answer that. Anything else you want to add? No? Okay. All right. Give him a round of applause.